how did your company actually contribute to ISS, and how can you depict the future of human exploration pathway to Moon and Mars? Those are really questions that we are hearing a lot talking about that everywhere, I mean here. So what can you tell us?
Okay, I can start by reminding two key points about our contribution to the space station. Actually, out of the 135 flights of the space shuttle, there were 65 in which there was hardware produced by Thales Alenia Space, and we are, together with Boeing, the largest contributor to the International Space Station. We have built several kind of modules from the interconnecting nodes to the cupola, to the contribution to the laboratory, European Laboratory Columbus, and we contributed also and produced several cargo logistic elements for the International Space Station, like the cargo carrier of ATV and the MPLM, and we are still producing today the pressurized cargo module for Cygnus. But ISS is our background, but we are already working, obviously, for the exploration and for what we call the beyond the LEO. So where we are going as a next step after ISS, we are going again back in the proximity of the Moon, and we will work to build up a new staging post in an orbit in proximity of the Moon. This is not actually a station, will be an outpost visited by the crew for 30 days initially, brought there from the Orion capsule, and it will be built with a power and propulsion element. There will be ESPRIT, which is a potential European contribution on which Thales Alenia Space will definitely design and provide its contribution for refueling capability, communication, and a scientific airlock. And then one of the other key elements is the habitation of the cislunar gateway, and for the habitation, of course, we are definitely working, and we already started to design this module, which will be, I would say, the home for the astronauts in the proximity of the Moon. But why we are going there? Because we are still pretty close to Moon, and we can so support mission on the Moon, and we can even assemble and check out the next transportation module that will bring the crew in the future on Mars, which is actually the ultimate goal of the exploration.
Well, Marco, so how will the next generation habitat modules change with respect to the ISS modules?
Okay, it's clear that the first point we will definitely take advantage of all the lessons learned and the capabilities and know-how that we had in developing the pressurized module for the space station, but we already know that we will have to design in a different and innovative way. I think in the images you are, in the video you are on the screen, you are starting to see some of these key features that we will have to implement. So in particular we will have to concentrate on a different accommodation of the interiors of the habitat to make it, as we say, more human-centered. So we will have to be capable to optimize the volume accommodation. We will need to, let's say, provide the crew with the capability to have reconfigurable interfaces and also area. This is an example of a crew quarter that is extendable and that we can protect also with the layers of water, which is one of the very good candidate for protection from the cosmic radiation, which is one of the key elements. And this will be necessary already in the first phase, even if the module will be visited for up to 30 days, roughly. But all of these techniques will become essential for the long journey to Mars, where the crew will stay there up to 1,000 days. And so in that phase, definitely we will need to put the emphasis on what is all the techniques necessary to improve the well-being of the crew, to make the module more autonomous. And so we will have to implement also techniques like virtual reality, augmented reality to promote and help both the maintenance, the operation, and the crew for relaxation and I would say the activity for relaxation. And we talk about the module, but obviously I have to remind, I mentioned before also this S3 module, which is this new kind of module to include an unpressurized section for refueling capability on this lunar gateway and communication, which will be essential to talk with Moon and afterward with Mars, and also these scientific airlocks to promote definitely also the part of a scientific experiment. And again, also on this new kind of module, Thales Alenia Space will put all its experience available, let's say, to be able to build according to the request of the customer, the agency, and promote the crew well-being and the adventure for human space flight.
All right, Marco, just one last question. So how can robotic exploration help, I mean, in paving the way to human exploration?
It will be important, and I can roughly say there are three major fields. I mean, robotic is very wide in terms of potentialities. But first, you see here a U-robot ground prototype. This was telecommanded recently in the frame of the Meteoron experiment performed by ESA by a crew astronaut in the ISS. And this was really to prove the future capability to telecommand, for instance, from this gateway infrastructure, robots on the surface of the planet, like the Moon, before, let's say, sending humans on the planet. And why we need robots to prepare for human? Because space is not the natural environment of a human being. It's harsh, it has extreme condition. So we will need first to characterize the atmosphere and the soil of the planet. And for instance, this is done by a mission like ExoMars, where we are the orbiter tracing the gas in the atmosphere, and the rover to take samples. We will have Mars sample return and probably Moon sample return. So we will have to send first the robot to prepare basically the human spaceflight mission. Elements like lander and rovers can provide the capability first robotically, and then after we have proved this, definitely we can put humans on this element, send them to the planet, and at that time we will be ready, I would say, to start the actual human spaceflight exploration, and in the future the perspective is the possible colonization of the planet. But we have to wait a bit. I mean, we have to prepare definitely to be capable to send the humans. And we are talking anyhow of the next, I would say, 20, 30 years maximum. So I think we are ready, and our company, I think, will be definitely one of the major players in this adventure.
Really looking forward to it, Marco. Thank you for sharing. So grazie. Ciao.